and then just updating our model. And so here, when we first started out, our growth factor was about 1.46, which means that every 2 days someone else was contracting the virus. Okay.
Okay.
So all these dots, each one of these dots represent the number of cases cumulatively on that day. And so now, what I had predicted initially, I don't know if you early this week the numbers spiked because they released data late. So basically, there were some tests that happened earlier in March, but they didn't release the numbers until today. I mean, not until early this week, which threw my models off because I predicted that we'd be topping out at around 6,500 cases.
Oh, wow.
Right, but right now we are currently above that, so we surpassed that. But like I said, they threw those numbers in late, and that of course affects the model. But even with those numbers that they threw in late, although I have to revise my model, we're still growing. You can see that
Okay.
this is where we are. This black line,
Yeah.
that
Jake,
black.
can we pause for a second?
Yes.
Sorry. So I just realized I wasn't live. We are live now. So
Okay.
welcome to Having with JoJo. I'm sorry, I got some new technology and I'm working through it, but I'm on the. You got to turn your phone down, baby. No. Yeah, so I'm live with Jake Scott, who is a math teacher at International High School at Langley Park,
Yes.
and he's known for his teaching his students how to learn math through rap. What was one of the songs? Quadratic, formulatic.
Quadratic, formulatic.
Yes.
We have quite a few of them in our arsenal, but yeah, the students love mathematics, and in fact, human beings. If our memory is the storage and recall of information, and so
Mhm.
it's easier to recall something when it's presented in an organized fashion. Just like your house, when your house is organized, you know where you can find stuff. Well, it's the
Yeah.
same thing with our brains. When I give you a message in rhyme, it's easier for you to recall that because it's organized, it's methodical, and so that's pretty much what I tap into with the math raps.
It's so funny because I love math. I always was good with math. And like as a kid and still as an adult, I used to count trees.
Oh wow!
And
Yes,
like if right now I used to count trees like down and I still count my steps. I catch myself
yes,
my steps.
yes.
Like 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's so like in the back of so subconsciously. And then when I catch myself, I'm like, you tripping. But that's just something about myself. So I apologize, everyone. But I just wanted to say, welcome to JiveN with JoJo. And we got Jake Scott, and he's talking about his regression models that he has created about the coronavirus for the state of Maryland. All right.
All right, great. So I'm going to share my screen again.
Okay.
Okay, and so basically, what has happened is I've taken the information from the state of Maryland that they have produced and kept track of the data, and I've made models to share with people just to give some sort of solace during this traumatic time, because I mean this is unprecedented for all of us. So if you're alive right
Yes.
now, you've not gone through something like this in your lifetime. And so basically, day 0, which was March 5th for the state of Maryland, that's when we first had we had 3 cases of coronavirus named in the state of Maryland. I've only kept track of the cases, not the hospitalization, not the number of deaths, although that information is available. but I've basically, with my models, they've been based on the number of confirmed cases. And so I had initially predicted, so early on, I was following along with the model, and there was a 1.46 growth rate, which means that every day there were 2 more people affected. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But over time, with the efforts that the governor has made, we have flattened the curve. And so now it takes 3 days instead of 2 days to get one person sick. Now it takes 3 days. And so basically the efforts that they've made have been effective. Now, one challenge was that earlier this week, they released some numbers that were of tests that have been taken early. So they released the data late. And so it really messed up my model. But I had initially predicted that we will be topping off at about 6,500 cases. Okay.
Uh-huh.
But when they released that new data that late, I see that now. This is where we are currently. You see this green dot right here?
Yes.
So we are, this is our new trend.
Like
we're back
7,000.
Yes. So we're back on this black line right here that you can see. That is our trend that we are currently traveling on. Now, with this guy right here, what we should take comfort in is the growth factor for this new model is only 1.146. So we've brought the growth factor down very significantly. This used to be 1.46, but now it's down to 1.14. So it's really flattening out.
So what does that number represent?
This number, so whenever you have an exponential model right here, do you see my cursor? So yes. A means how many you start out with. We know that we started out with 3 initial individuals, but this number B is your growth factor. Now that number can range, and the higher that number is, the faster it's growing. Okay.
Oh wow.
So when we first started, it was at 1.46, which means that it wasn't doubling every day, but it was like it was taking 2 days or 1.5 days for it to double.
Okay.
But now we've flattened it out, so it's taking more like 4 days, 5 days to double.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what it boils down to. It's taking longer for the disease to spread.
Okay. And that you think that's a result of us being inside?
Absolutely.
Staying home?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So it's very important for us to stay home.
So there are a number of factors. One is, I'm gonna see if I can go to the Maryland's website. Just to that's an excellent question that you asked, because this all depends on us. All of this depends on what we do. Okay, and so the governor closed the schools. Now that was the biggest step. That was the most crucial thing that was done when they closed the schools, because when kids go to school, they come home with all kinds of germs, and that was problematic. So they closed the schools. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Great. So see this number right here. These are the kids. The kids' numbers are low, and the reason that they are low is because the schools are closed.
Okay.
The people who are getting affected the most are, you see that age range, 50 to 59.
Wow.
40 to 49. Those are your individuals who are working at Costco, Walmart. These are those people. That is why these numbers are staying high. We're keeping our elderly at home, but these guys right here in the middle, this is where our growth is happening, right there. And those are the essential employees. In fact, unfortunately, some of those are nurses, they're doctors who are contracting the virus. They're people who can't afford to stay home, basically.
Yeah.
And so I think the governors and the mayor, when I say governors, I kind of leave out the mayor of DC. She's essentially a governor, but the governors are doing a fantastic job. When they close the schools and close the businesses, that is what helped out. Now, the other thing I should mention is when we look at these numbers, see the 7,694.
Yes.
Well, let's round that to 8,000. Is to talk good numbers, okay?
Okay.
So if this was 8,000 people who were confirmed cases, that means that 1/4 of them, which is 2,000, would be hospitalized.
Oh.
Okay, and that means that 80 or more, over 100, will be dead, basically, because we're seeing about a 1% death rate.
Wow.
Okay, and this number right here is actually high. So that actually, yeah, this right here, this represents more than a 1%.
Wow.
Right here. So our death rate, and you know that the deaths that have happened have disproportionately affected low income minorities.
And why do you think that is?
For one, because there was a video, I don't know if you saw it, but there was a video that was released recently on Facebook of an African American male who went to the doctor because he was feeling sick. So imagine what happened. The guy was feeling sick. He's coughing. He's like, man, I think I might have the virus. He goes to the hospital and they say, we have to give you a shot. We can't let you go. We have to give you a shot. And the dude's like, hold up. Nah, you're not giving me a shot. You're not giving me a shot.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm leaving. That basically shows the underlying distrust that African Americans have for the for the hospitals.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Now, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Blacks don't typically go to the doctor on a regular basis. We don't go to the dentist on a regular basis. You know, we have a relationship. We feel like, you know what, these guys are trying to scam me. These guys are trying to make me sick. I don't know. I'll go when I really, really need to go if I'm on my deathbed. But other than that, I ain't messing with any doctors. I'll let God heal me. and that is how most many African Americans think. And so the access to healthcare is minimal. Secondly, we talk about soul food. Well, our eating habits aren't necessarily the best. And so when you talk about diabetes and stuff like that, those underlying issues, they show up and they weaken our immune system. They weaken our ourselves for the battle, so we basically go in and it's tough to overcome those things. So
with this modeling,
yes.
Are you going on this site every day and doing numbers, or are you doing this weekly?
Yeah, so I update at least 3 times a week. And so I've done quite a few of them now. To be totally honest with you, when these numbers came out recently, I was taken aback because they weren't in line with what I was seeing. We were trending down, and then all of a sudden we saw a spike. So when I say trending down, let me show you what I mean.
Okay.
We in Maryland have been doing a fantastic job. And so you see these yellow numbers down at the bottom.
Yep.
So I was recording all of these numbers here, and we were trending downward, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're trending down. So the end was in sight. And then all of a sudden you get this big spike right here. And when that happened, I was like, hold up, what is going on? And so that's when I started thinking about that 5G stuff that everyone has heard about by now.
Okay. So you do believe the 5G has an impact on this as well?
I'm not sure if it impacts this, but if you Google 5G, I mean, obviously 5G is going to have some physical effect on us, Let me see, 5G. When we look at 5G, it already tells you that there are we should anticipate health challenges as a result of 5G. Okay, so this right here, if you just read, I mean, this is just basic information about how 5G is going to affect us. It's going to affect us, and so basically, there is a race to implement 5G because whoever implements 5G is going to become a leader.
Oh, wow.
Okay, because that's the information highway.
Yes. We want it faster.
We want it fast and speed. if you know the early bird catches the worm. So let me give you a basic example. Let's take the stock market. Let's say you want to buy some stocks in Google. Well, if you are working on a 4G or a 3G and you send a message, hey, I want to buy some Google. Well, the person who's on 5G can beat you to the store, buy those stocks, and then sell them to you for a higher price.
Wow. Okay.
That's basically how it works. Like that's just like you saying, I'm going to the store to buy some toilet paper. Just like that price gouging thing that you saw. I'm going to buy some toilet paper. So
I went yesterday and they had 2 rolls of paper towels for $5. I said, oh no, I went and got some napkins.
Yeah.
I spent $5 on paper towels.
And so basically having that information, whoever has the information is going to win, because if let's say China, who we're in a race with, if China beats us to 5G, then China will essentially rule the world, because everyone's going to want 5G and they're going to have to get it from China. China's going to have access to all the data. And if you have access to the data, you win. So America's in a race to get there, but America's way behind. And so now it's a matter of, we need to make this happen. We need to make this happen. And so the leaders,
and that's why they're going up all over the place. And I feel like that's why they got us in the house too. So we can't be putting up these 5G.
Right. We don't want you guys standing outside protesting, saying we shouldn't have this and talking about it's going to produce cancer. And we don't want you out there. Stay home while we get this done.
Yeah. And it's like they're doing it at night.
Yeah. And so
in the morning, and you see a new one in your neighborhood somewhere.
So when I saw those numbers, that's the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, hold up, is this a result of some 5G stuff? Because these numbers are crazy. I know that people are staying at home, because I see everybody on Facebook. I've gone out to the store and people are wearing masks, they're wearing gloves. We've done a lot to flatten this curve. Why is the curve still growing? Why are these numbers still growing? And so
and it's funny because even on my street, like the kids used to play together in the street. Now they talking to each other over the gate.
Right.
Now in the street. So I know people are staying home.
So what is making these numbers continue to climb? And so that was in my mind. And, so I spent the week just thinking. I was like, hold up, man. I don't want to encourage the people with the fact that we're flattening the curve if we're really not. I don't want to be an agent for folly, and so so that's where I am, to be honest with you. I mean, I was
coming out with your new numbers.
I'm coming out with it today, actually. So the model that you saw, that 1.46 is actually that 1.146 is good. That's an improvement. So that's the one encouraging thing that I saw. But and the other thing is that the governor mentioned that they released data late. So that's understandable, because first they had one type of test that took a little longer. Then they got new tests which are faster, and so that the data lag is understandable.
Okay.
Especially as a teacher, sometimes students do work and I don't record the grade right away.
Yeah.
But it's like, why did my grade drop? Well, I put those grades in. So I can relate to that.
So what else you got going on, Jake? You say you got a new.
Yeah, I'm going to be producing a math rap video this week about COVID-19. It's starring my daughter, and basically the plot is, I start off, let me have your imagination for a minute. I'm about to paint this picture and want you to see yourself in it. It's 4 PM. You're just in from school, got your snack checking Facebook just in time for cartoons. Yep. All of a sudden, Anderson Cooper's on your screen. Newsflash, man dies of COVID-19. The governor's on the stage. Folks are gripped with fear. We need medical. Now, I'm going to stop right there. But anyway, that's what it's about COVID-19 and how it
so how can they find you so I can type it up for you?
My
Facebook.
YouTube, my Facebook is just Jake Scott, but in my YouTube is Scott AU190. Scott.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
YouTube. Scott.
AU. Let me see. Scott AU 190. So I just put it in the chat for you.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And so that I'm gonna be releasing that this week, and so and it's also just a tribute to our governors, because they are doing a difficult job, and it's never easy to go before the people with bad information, bad news, basically. So that's what I'll be sharing, just to lift up the arms of Governor Hogan, and also the DC and Virginia mayors. So.
Well, thank you so much, Jake, for doing it for me. It was very informative, and I hope people take this seriously, to stay in the house.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you so much for having me on it, and I look forward to checking out more of JiveN with JoJo.
What? All right, Jake.
All right, take it easy.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, guys. So we got some information of the trends of the state of Maryland. Now, I want to talk a little bit about how, the state of Maryland has just mandated that you must wear masks into the grocery stores, the pharmacy, and you should just not leave your house without a mask. They have already mandated this in Los Angeles and Massachusetts. How do you guys feel about this? Talk to me, baby. Hey, Eli. You on mute, huh?
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So how do you feel about this mask? And you just feel like you want to stay in the house, or are you using Instacart for your groceries?
I thought about that. I don't leave the house often, that much anyway. So before even, the COVID stuff happened, I was a homebody. But I went to Walmart the other day, and when I was walking through, I saw that there were more people wearing masks and more people wearing gloves, and you would see somebody walk by and they would be like more inclined to kind of step to the side and move out of the way.
Yeah, so you won't get close to them.
Right.
Like yesterday, I called myself taking a lunch break, and I went to the Giant, and I was stuck outside for like 20 minutes before we could get. And they were not using social distancing outside.
Right. And I think the fact that because people are reacting that way, it's made me a bit more nervous about it. But I'm probably the one that you talk about, because I haven't worn a mask into the grocery store.
I don't even have one, but
I don't wear gloves.
They were selling them down at the gas station.
And see, my thing is this: is if you're going to mandate something, where are you supposed to get them?
Yeah.
Didn't we have something where, he sent all of these supplies and all of these masks, and now celebrities are on this binge where they're trying to give people and donate masks. We don't even have the masks to use, and you were to mandate something. So I'm the person that went out, I get in, I get out, I wipe down, and that's it. So I haven't necessarily thought, but what I did find interesting was, maybe I missed it because I got disconnected for a second, but did he say something about the estimated date of when it should end?
Oh, okay.
Did he say something about that?
No, he said starting Wednesday, April 15th.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
15th is when it's mandatory for you to have a mask going into the grocery store, pharmacy.
So
Yeah.
when does he think that the virus is going to start to teeter off?
I don't think they know that answer.
I know.
Yeah. So we might be in the house for a while.
I
Oh,
know
wow.
California just got pushed back. Theirs was April 19th, and then now it's May 15th. They got to
Yeah.
stay in the house.
Hey, Alicia. I'm showing some comments.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of
This
people
is
can't find
really
a mask
cool.
anywhere.
Huh?
A lot of people, she said that she can't find a mask anywhere. And I was like, a lot of people can't find masks anywhere.
Yeah. But
So,
you know, so funny that they saying that masks are mandatory, but they're not talking about gloves.
because gloves cross contaminate.
The mask can too. I mean, you still touching stuff. When you take the mask, you using your hand to take the mask off, you're gonna touch your face.
But that's what I'm saying. So what I've read is that you go from touching one thing to touching another, then you pick up your phone, then you touch your mask, you do all of this, and it's just spreading it
Yeah,
around
yeah, it is.
versus I've seen some nurses and doctors say that you shouldn't have to wear the gloves. Use your hand sanitizer, or if you're gonna wear the gloves, wear them hand sanitized, then go and do your stuff.
But
So
and then they've been showing on the news about people tossing their gloves in the parking lot, and the people who work there have to go and collect these gloves, and not knowing who had these gloves on may have the virus.
that's just because
It's
we live
being
in a world
nasty.
of nasty people. We just live in a
Yeah.
world of nasty people.
People are being nasty, and it's
Yeah,
scary out here. It's really
yeah.
is.
Girl, I know I'm keeping it lighthearted, right?
I know.
But, but R. Kelly asked to get released because of COVID-19, girl. And they told him no, he gotta stay in there.
Exactly. Not just him, but I was just looking at a video earlier about they riding in Langston Correctional Facility in Kansas City. I mean, they were knocking, I guess wherever the correctional officers sit, they was breaking the glass. They said they turned off the water, they can't take a shower. How they supposed to wash their hands?
Yeah.
You can't
And it's
wash your hands, but you just turned the water off for the inmates and they can't wash their hands or their butt. It's kind of scary.
yeah, and there's some that are like pursuing lawsuits because they're not getting even just the basics to maintain.
Mm-hmm.
And for those that I remember, I saw one comment. It was like for those that have shorter sentences, they're not
Mm-hmm.
serving life sentences where they're already going or expected to die in there.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah,
setting them up for that possibility,
yeah,
to die
yeah.
in jail. It's
So
crazy.
I'm going to move you to the back real quick, and we're going to talk about some other stuff, and then we're going to get off of here.
Thanks for having me.
I see you in the background.
Okay. All right, bye.
Yeah. So another thing I wanted to talk about is, we have the essential employees, we got the telework, and then we got people who, just can't work. So my house is affected by both. I was blessed enough to be able to telework, but my husband is currently not working. He hasn't worked since March 12th, you know. So it's an adjustment for our household. Is anybody else out here struggling with that? Do you want to talk about it, Misty? Okay. Comment then. Hey, Joe. Thank you, Jody. I'm getting creative, is what I'm getting. We can't have people here. You can so Misty, can you move your face off the screen and then be able to talk and we can still hear you? Because you trying to talk to me through the background ain't gonna work. So This is so much fun, and I wish most more you join my StreamYard. Then if you had questions, I could put you up. So in the future, you know, you want to put yourself in the background? Flip your phone. This is my sister.
Now,
Yeah, I can hear you.
okay, so I am a essential worker, which I'm happy about because I still get paid. But
Uh-huh.
I do feel for those that don't, like my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of hard, but at the same time, I feel like since they implemented wearing a mask, that that should, be enough for these people to go back to work. I
Yeah.
think they should make it mandatory for you to wear a mask and, to be able to go back to work and, you know, do what you need to do to survive and take care of your family.
But I don't think was you paying attention to Jake when he was talking about the trends and
Well,
how he
I
down
came
from people
home
not being
5
home?
minutes after he was about to get off.
Oh, okay. So you might want to go back and look at like his numbers to kind of see why he's saying it's a good thing for people to stay at home right now. Yeah. I thought that was
I
very
mean,
intriguing.
I guess I get that too, but I think if they make it mandatory just to wear a mask, period, just period,
Yeah.
that will allow us to, still work and do what we need to do for our families to not have to go through, all of this unnecessary that's going on right now.
Yeah, I guess the good thing about it right now is, like the state of Maryland, they just passed, he just signed an order for people who are getting unemployment. They get an additional $600 a week to help cover their bills on top of this stimulus thing that Trump is doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, so I guess it's like good and bad with it. I'm not in that situation. But
Yeah.
for the people who are, you know, like I said, my house is affected by it as well.
Yeah. I'm not in that situation because I'm considered otherwise, but I just think that if he's making masks mandatory for certain other things, then he can make it mandatory for everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That would just lift a lot of burden off of
Yeah,
Congress.
but so one thing that Jake has said earlier, and we could bring him in here. Jake was saying that the reason why the numbers are down for the children is because they're not in school.
Right. But those children wear a mask to the grocery stores,
Jake, you on?
we can have them wearing a mask going into schools.
Yeah, wait a minute. So somebody make a comment. So I'm posting the comments. The mask don't stop you from catching it. It's only a precaution for those who actually have it, not to pass it. So, well,
I don't know. I just think that.
yeah. Somebody else posted. Let me show my sister-in-law. I still can't get through to unemployment. I've been trying since March 16th. You have you went online, Darlena? That's
But they're
crazy.
gonna have to be
People are,
unemployment because you got everybody applying for that right now.
yeah, a
Like
lot of
it's
people. A
probably
lot of people.
that unemployment has never seen before.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna put you back in the back. Yeah, so it's crazy out here. It's scary. You don't know if you get sick, if you have COVID-19, or if it's allergies, or you got you know sometimes you get a virus and you get the runs. You just don't know what's going on nowadays. It's terrible out here. But I did want to say thank you all for joining me today. It's been almost 45 minutes. That's a good little wow. But I thank you all for joining me with JiveN with JoJo. And I hope to see you guys next week. Enjoy your day.